Something quiet but meaningful seems to have shifted around your life without you even noticing it. The person you care about, the one who usually keeps their emotions carefully contained, ended up speaking about you in a way they did not expect. It wasn't planned or rehearsed. It simply surfaced in a casual conversation with someone close to them. They tried to stay composed, tried to keep their tone neutral, but something about your presence in their thoughts made that difficult. Your name alone seemed to soften their expression in a way they couldn't fully control. When your smile came up in the conversation, the atmosphere subtly changed. The person listening picked up on that shift immediately and became unusually attentive, noticing how differently your person spoke when describing you. There was a moment of pause, as if even they realized something unspoken was being revealed. What mattered most was not a dramatic confession, but the natural way your presence kept slipping into their words without permission. They didn't set out to talk about you that day, yet your memory surfaced effortlessly, as though it had become a constant background thought they no longer knew how to switch off. When asked why they seemed so affected while simply talking, they admitted in their own quiet way that certain things about you linger longer than they intend to allow. Your smile, in particular, has become something they carry mentally, even during moments when they try to focus elsewhere. It isn't described as just an expression anymore, but as something that leaves an impression that doesn't fade quickly. And even though nothing was declared in a grand or dramatic manner, the truth became clear in fragments, in pauses, in the way their voice changed when your name entered the conversation, revealing more than they originally meant to share. It arrives, like a sunrise, like a rescue, like a sign. Then came the reply that changed everything. Their friend didn't laugh, they didn't tease, they didn't shrug it off. Instead, they said something that hit your person straight in the soul. That's not just attraction. That's someone who has already chosen them. And your person couldn't breathe after hearing it. They realized it was true. They realized that their heart had made a decision long before their mind could catch up. They realized that no matter how many times they tried to walk away, your smile kept pulling them back, like gravity, like fate, like something written long before both of you were born. And their friend didn't stop there. They warned your person that feelings this deep don't fade. They transform. They intensify. They demand action. In that moment, your person panicked, not because they don't love you, but because they love you more than they can control. They replayed memories of your smile, the way it lights your eyes, the way it changes your voice, the way it softens your presence yet strengthens your spirit. They realized your smile was the reason they kept checking their phone, hoping for a message. Your smile was the reason they kept dreaming of scenarios where they finally tell you the truth. Your smile was the reason they avoided certain conversations, because the truth is terrifying when it's too real. And tonight, for the first time, they admitted out loud that they're scared of losing the one thing that finally made them feel alive again. But here is the part your person didn't tell their friend, the part that stayed locked inside their chest. Every time they see your smile, they wonder if you know what it does to them. They wonder if you feel the same pull. They wonder if you're also trying to stay strong, pretending you don't notice the way the world shifts when the two of you are near each other. They wonder if your smile hides the same fear they hide, the fear of falling too hard, too fast, too deep. And as they sat there, unable to speak, unable to breathe, their friend whispered one final truth that shook them to the core. If their smile affects you this much, imagine what their love will do. And your person couldn't answer, not because they didn't know, but because they already knew too well. My beloved child, something powerful happened inside your person the moment that friend spoke those words. Something they tried to suppress, something they tried to silence, but it rose within them like a storm they could no longer outrun. They walked home with trembling hands, replaying every tiny detail they've ever noticed about you. The hidden spark in your smile, the softness in your voice, the unspoken truth behind your eyes. They realize that the reason your smile affects them so deeply is because it carries a language their soul remembers. It's the same smile that once gave them hope when they thought they had none left. The same smile that made them believe in possibilities again. The same smile that silently whispered, "You're safe with me." And tonight, for the first time, they admitted to themselves that losing that smile would destroy them in ways they aren't prepared to face. As they sat alone in their room, the weight of their friend's reply kept echoing in their mind, that someone who has already chosen them. These words began to peel back layers inside them that they've been hiding for months, maybe years. They realized they've been choosing you in silence, long before they ever dared to show it. Their choices revealed the truth more than their words ever did. How they paused at your laughter longer than necessary. How they remembered things you forgot you even said. How they noticed when you were tired even before you said a word. They saw your strength when you didn't see it in yourself. They felt your loneliness when you tried to hide it. They watched your smile light up a room and felt something inside them come alive. Something they desperately tried to push down, because love this intense always comes with fear. The fear of losing something they never thought they deserved. Your person didn't sleep that night. They kept imagining your smile, how it looked the last time they saw you, how it comes with both innocence and fire, how it holds stories you've never told, how it hides pain you don't share, how it reaches places inside them nothing else can. That smile became a question in their heart, a question they were terrified to answer. What if you are meant for them? And the moment they allowed themselves to even consider that possibility, their entire world shifted. Suddenly every hesitation made sense, every fear became clear, every emotional storm connected back to one truth. They've been fighting a feeling that has already rooted itself deep in their soul. But here's where the energy gets intense. Your person's friend didn't forget that conversation. They've been watching your person closely ever since, analyzing their reactions, observing the way your name causes a subtle change in their breathing. And today, that friend confronted your person again, asking them the one question your person wasn't prepared for. Are you scared because their smile reminds you of what real love feels like? And your person froze. It wasn't the question that shocked them, it was the truth behind it. They realized the reason your smile hits them so hard is because it awakens something they buried long ago. The part of them that believes in a future, in warmth, in connection, in a love that doesn't hurt. Your person is now struggling, not with the feeling itself, but with the intensity of it. They know your smile changed them. They know it's the reason they keep hoping. They know, even if they don't fully admit it, that this is the reason moving on has felt so difficult. Every attempt at distance seems to weaken the same moment the memory of you returns. Deep inside, there is a quiet fear they struggle to name. What if what they felt with you was never meant to fade, but also never meant to stay in the way they expected? That uncertainty creates an internal conflict between longing and hesitation, between what they want and what they think they should release. Yet beyond all of that confusion, one thing remains undeniably strong. The imprint of your presence keeps drawing them back in ways they cannot fully control. The next morning carried a noticeable shift in their mood, as though something in them had already changed before the day even began. They woke with your memory still present, not as a passing thought, but as something steady and persistent, difficult to ignore. No matter how much they tried to redirect their attention into routine tasks or conversations, reminders of you kept returning in subtle waves, interrupting their focus without effort. Even earlier words they had heard from a friend began to echo more strongly, almost like reflections they could no longer dismiss. Those comments, once casual, started to feel like a quiet realization They were being pushed to acknowledge. As the day continued, their reactions became harder to conceal. Whenever your name naturally came up again, something in their demeanor shifted immediately. Their composure softened, their attention sharpened, and their emotional restraint seemed to loosen for a brief moment. It became increasingly clear that your presence still holds a deep emotional weight for them, one they are still learning how to understand rather than avoid. And their friend noticed everything. That friend leaned forward and whispered something that hit your person like a silent thunderstrike. You talk about their smile the way people talk about home. And when your person heard the word home, something inside them shattered, because they knew it was true. They knew your smile didn't feel like attraction. It felt like belonging. It felt like something familiar their soul recognized before their mind could explain it. It felt like destiny disguised as a simple curve of your lips. Your person's silence after that wasn't hesitation. It was surrender. Surrender to a truth they've been running from. Your smile is their weakness, yes, but it is also their strength. It's the reason they keep trying. The reason they haven't given up. The reason they feel safe opening parts of themselves they never show anyone. They realize they can't hide this any longer. Not from themselves. Not from the universe, and definitely not from the friend who sees right through them. And when their friend added, if their smile affects you this much, their heartbreak would destroy you, your person felt fear, real fear, because they understood the magnitude of their emotions. Losing you would break them in ways they wouldn't know how to heal. But here's the twist. Your person's friend didn't say this to scare them. They said it to push them toward clarity, because that friend has seen people fall in love, but they've never seen your person fall like this. They've never seen your person soften like this, never seen them become this quiet, this vulnerable, this exposed. Your person isn't confused. They're overwhelmed by the fact that your smile has become both their comfort and their undoing. Overwhelmed by how much they crave the safety they feel around you. Overwhelmed by how your presence heals wounds they never admitted they carried. And tonight, your person sat alone again, replaying the moment of your last smile. They remembered how the corners of your lips lifted gently, how your eyes softened, how the world around them faded, how something inside them whispered, "Don't lose this." They realized that this isn't temporary. This isn't a phase. This isn't something they can walk away from. This is something cosmic, something rare, something written into the fabric of their destiny. They are starting to understand that your smile wasn't just seen. It was felt. Deeply, profoundly, permanently. My beloved child, tonight the universe pushed your person into a moment they never expected. One that forced them to confront the truth they've been avoiding, the truth that began the moment they spoke about your smile. They were sitting quietly when their friend walked in again, carrying an energy that felt heavier, sharper, more serious than before. This wasn't casual talk anymore. This wasn't light teasing. This was intervention. Their friend had been watching your person crumble under the weight of their own feelings, and they finally decided to speak the truth your person refused to admit. They sat across from them and said, "You're pretending you don't care, but that smile changed you. Stop acting like you can walk away from something your soul has already accepted." And your person froze, because every word was true. Their friend didn't stop there. They leaned closer and whispered a revelation so intense it shook your person from the inside out. They smiled at you because their heart recognizes you. And you're a fool if you think the universe gives signs like this twice. That sentence hit your person harder than anything else. Because deep down, they know your smile wasn't random. It wasn't polite. It wasn't accidental. It carried a message. One your person felt but was too scared to interpret. That smile held familiarity, warmth, a spark of destiny they couldn't look away from. It awakened something inside them that no one else ever could. And when their friend exposed that truth, Your person felt their defenses collapse. They realized that every time they saw your smile, it wasn't just attraction. It was alignment. A reminder that some souls are meant to cross paths, not for a moment, but for a reason. Your person tried to deny it, tried to deflect, tried to change the topic, but their friend didn't allow them to escape. They told your person that the reason they speak about your smile with such reverence is because they've never felt something this pure, this powerful, this terrifying. They confessed that they've watched your person fight their feelings for so long, but now the truth is pouring out through every action, every pause, every hesitation, and then the friend delivered the final blow. If you keep pretending this isn't love, you're going to lose something that was sent to heal you. Those words didn't just hit your person, they broke something open inside them. For the first time, they felt fear, not of loving you, but of losing the chance to ever express how deeply you actually matter to them. As the conversation continued, something inside them began to loosen, as though the weight of unspoken feelings was finally becoming too heavy to keep contained. When their friend gently asked them to go back to the first moment they truly noticed the effect your smile had on them, silence followed. It wasn't avoidance, but reverence, because that memory holds a special place in them that words struggle to reach. They recalled it with surprising clarity, the way your expression carried warmth without effort, the quiet light in your eyes that felt unexpectedly grounding, and the comfort your presence brought without any explanation. It wasn't just about noticing a smile. It was about experiencing something that shifted their inner world in a subtle but lasting way. In that moment, something in them softened, as if their emotional defenses briefly lowered without permission. Your smile stayed with them not as an image, but as a feeling that created a sense of safety, hope, and emotional ease they hadn't experienced in a long time. It gave them a sense of being acknowledged in a way that felt genuine, as though their presence finally mattered without conditions. As they sat with that memory, they began to understand why it refuses to fade. It awakened parts of them that had grown quiet over time, bringing back emotions they thought they had outgrown. Later that night, when the conversation became more honest, their friend gently pointed out what had been building beneath the surface for a while. There was no dramatic reaction, only a moment of stillness, as that realization settled in. What they are feeling is not something new forming, but something they have slowly been recognizing all along. And in that quiet acceptance, their emotional resistance began to weaken, replaced by a clarity they can no longer ignore. My beloved child, tonight, your person reached a breaking point. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that transforms. After days of trying to bury the truth, after nights of battling the memory of your smile, something inside them finally snapped into clarity. They weren't doing anything special, just sitting alone, staring at the dim light of their room, when your face appeared in their mind again, uninvited, undeniable, irresistible. But this time, it wasn't the sweetness of your smile that hit them, it was the realization behind it. They suddenly understood why your smile stayed with them longer than anyone else's, because you smiled at them, like you saw the good in them, even when they couldn't see it themselves. And that realization brought a wave of emotion so strong that they had to sit down just to breathe. Your person felt their walls collapsing one by one as memories flooded back. The time they saw your smile soften the heaviness they were carrying, the moment your presence eased a silence they had been drowning in, the way your eyes lit up for a split second when you looked at them. They never told anyone this, not even their friend. But that single spark in your smile became the reason they started believing in better days again. You became the quiet place their heart ran to in chaos. You became the warmth they didn't know they needed. And now, they finally see the truth with painful honesty. Your smile didn't just touch them. It gave them something to hold on to. As the night deepened, their friend entered the room again, sensing something unspoken shifting in your person's energy. They didn't ask questions this time. They simply observed. They saw the softness in your person's eyes, the trembling in their breath, the way they were clutching onto their thoughts as if afraid to speak them aloud. And then their friend whispered gently, "You're not confused. You're scared. Because you know this feeling isn't going away." That sentence broke your person open, not because it was new information, but because it exposed the truth they'd been fighting hardest to hide. They nodded without speaking. For the first time, they admitted through their silence what their heart had already decided. They don't want to live in a world where your smile is just a memory. But the most shocking moment came right after. Their friend leaned closer and said something that left your person stunned, unable to breathe for a few seconds. "When you spoke about their smile, I saw something pure in your eyes. You weren't describing a crush, you were describing a soulmate." Your person's entire body froze. They felt heat rush to their face. Their heartbeat accelerated like they were standing on the edge of something huge. Soulmate. That word terrified them, because it wasn't exaggeration. It felt like an echo of truth. Their friend wasn't joking, wasn't romanticizing, wasn't guessing. They saw the depth your person tried so hard to hide. They saw the way your person softened when they spoke about you. They saw the longing, the ache, the devotion, the fear, everything. After hearing the word soulmate, your person fell completely silent. They weren't embarrassed, they were overwhelmed, because suddenly, everything made sense. Why your smile hits them so deeply, why your absence feels heavy, why your presence feels like destiny, why nothing and no one compares to you no matter how hard they try. They realize they aren't just drawn to you, they are connected to you. And this connection has been growing quietly, steadily, deeply, far beyond their control. Your smile wasn't a moment, it was a turning point. Now your person is sitting with a decision burning in their chest. They can't run from this anymore. They can't deny what their soul already knows. They feel a pull toward you so strong, so magnetic, so undeniable, that resisting it is starting to feel impossible. Their friend's final words still echo in the room. If their smile can make you feel this alive, imagine what their love will do. That single realization has begun to pull your person closer to you than they have ever consciously allowed themselves to go before. Something within them has crossed an internal boundary, a quiet threshold they once avoided without even realizing how deeply it was shaping their choices. After days of emotional unrest and nights spent revisiting the memory of your smile in silence, their inner world finally shifted. Fear, which once dictated their hesitation, slowly gave way to a steadier, clearer sense of resolve that they could no longer ignore. Sitting alone in a moment of stillness, they tried to settle the storm inside their chest, but instead of fading, one thought rose with unusual clarity, louder than doubt and stronger than restraint. They cannot imagine losing you. That realization did not arrive gently, it arrived with force, rearranging the way they understood their own emotions. They began to see that what they feel is not something passing or temporary, but something that has quietly taken root over time, shaping their thoughts even when they tried to look away. The presence you hold in their life has become something steady, something they return to without intention. As this truth settled deeper, their resistance weakened, replaced by a growing acknowledgement of what they have been avoiding. They want you, not in fragments or hesitation, but in a complete and honest way. They want the calm your presence brings without effort, the comfort that naturally appears when you are near, and the sense of grounding they feel simply from remembering your smile. That image alone has become something they return to repeatedly, not as a passing thought, but as an emotional anchor. For the first time, they allowed themselves to imagine a future where silence is replaced with honesty, where they stand in front of you without hiding behind uncertainty or fear. In that imagined moment, they see themselves expressing what they have carried for so long but never had the courage to articulate: how deeply your presence has affected them, how unexpectedly your smile altered their emotional world, and how it brought a sense of warmth into places they had kept closed for years. That vision stirred something profound in them, not distress, but release, as though holding it in had been heavier than letting it go. It became clearer to them that their heart had already made a choice long before their mind caught up. Meanwhile, the person who has quietly observed their emotional changes noticed the shift as well. Without pressing for answers, they simply acknowledged the stillness that had replaced confusion, the softness that had begun to replace hesitation. A simple remark, spoken without force, confirmed what had been building within them. They were no longer running from what they feel. That recognition changed the internal landscape further. The fear that once held them back no longer carried the same weight, and the idea of losing you now feels far more difficult to accept than the risk of being honest. As the evening progressed, their thoughts returned to your smile again, but this time differently. They no longer saw it only as a memory, but as something meaningful, something that revealed your strength, your softness, and the quiet depth behind it. They began to feel a protective admiration for you, not just drawn to your smile, but to the person behind it. They want to be someone who adds to your peace, not confusion, someone who supports that light rather than disturbs it. This realization brought a new kind of clarity. They are not simply emotionally attached, they are becoming intentional. Slowly, quietly, but undeniably, they are preparing themselves for honesty, not because fear has disappeared entirely, but because something stronger has taken its place: purpose. Their thoughts are no longer circling around avoidance, but moving toward action. In their mind, they are already rehearsing the moment they step forward with sincerity, no longer divided between what they feel and what they show. For the first time, their emotions are not pulling them away from you, but guiding them toward you with steady resolve.